All right, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching from. Thanks for joining back to watch the video. As usual, I'm back to let you know some of the stories making the rounds right at this moment, especially as it concerns the Super Eagles. And then I'm also going to react to a couple of things that have been happening outside of Super Eagles, particularly the one concerning South Africa. We have to talk about it maybe for the last time today because obviously something very important happened today, and it's an indication that we may well, just um, see the reality that nothing is being done to South Africa at this point. I mean, it's a reality right now. So what happened? Apparently, FIFA released a document, I think 3 or 4 pages document on their official website today. Then let it out to the public where they listed all the fixtures or all the matches previously played, in the World Cup qualifying series that had issues or disputes that needs to be settled. Most of them are still pending at this point. So in all of this list, I scanned through all of them, just like you can see on the screen here. Maybe it's very tiny, but if you look at it very closely, you would see that there is no dispute, that concerning South Africa versus the Lesotho game. So this means that FIFA do not find South Africa wanting. They do not find South Africa liable to be punished, in that South Africa versus Lesotho game played in March. And obviously, we know what this means. This is a call for cry, a call for sadness, for me as a Nigerian, Super Eagles fan, for the Jonoro and Rwanda, sorry, Jonoro and the Benin Republic, and then Rwanda and their people. Obviously, because it means that at the end of the day, South Africa, the fans, the team, they have won the case. So I don't think there's anything that can be done right now to sanction South Africa, because FIFA do not recognize it. They don't have it on their register that South Africa needs to be punished, or they have a dispute that needs to be settled. So that's about how it's going right now. I'm sure South African fans will be very happy at this news. A lot of you will probably have seen it before now, but at the end of the day, I'm just going to rest my case. You guys have won. I don't know the kind of connection you guys have, at the top, at the hierarchy there, with FIFA, but I must say, whatever connection you guys have, it's really, really paying off. It's really working because it happened, before our very eyes. And at the end of the day, FIFA are saying they don't recognize this, based on the document that they released. But we are going to move past that one. Of course, it wouldn't really even change anything. It was not going to change much for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Obviously, it was only going to, you know, change a little bit of something for us. But the people that it was going to favor the most would have been like Benin Republic and General Raw, you know. But we'll move. As I said before, I've already removed my mind from Super Eagles qualifying to the World Cup 2026 because it's almost a zero chance right now. There's still a possibility, but I mean, at this point, it's better you don't even put your mind on it so that it doesn't pain you at the end of the day when it doesn't happen. But let's move on, guys, and talk about the under 20 national team who are obviously preparing right now to play in the World Cup under 20 category competition coming up this month. I think it's actually starting on the 29th of September. And of course, we trust the Nigerian team. We've always, been one to represent in these kinds of competition. And of course, Coach Ali Zuberi has been training this under 20 squad. He has been training them a couple of months. I think they've played a couple of friendly, up to maybe like 10 official and unofficial friendlies. So they've been, really preparing for this one right now. And the latest is that they've actually traveled to Chile, where they will play in the competition. But once they reach, they'll still have like I don't know, maybe a week plus of time to actually prepare, maybe play a couple of indoor friendlies as well, and then see how, competition ready that they are. before actually kickstarting the competition properly. They have their first game coming up on the 29th. That game is going to be against Norway, and of course, he trusts the Flying Eagles of Nigeria to represent. They've actually not been able to win this competition ever since it was started. I think the best they did was back in 2023 when they qualified into the quarterfinals. So this time around, they'll be hoping to go past the quarterfinals, maybe get into the semifinals, and possibly see if they can even win it. It's going to be very difficult because we have a lot of talented, we have all of these countries that have a bunch of talented young stars who are uh, favorites for this competition. But we'll see how far that they can go. Talking about the list has been released. We've seen the final 21 man list now being released by coach Aliu Zubairu. As you can see on the screen, the goalkeeper Ebenezer Ifeanyi Hakot, 15 years old, who a few weeks ago he made history by getting the invitation to the senior national team. When coach Eric Shaw included him in the provisional squad, he wasn't able to make it into the final squad. So obviously we didn't, get to see him in the World Cup qualifying series, the two games that we played. But this is, where his mates are, obviously. So he's going to be one of the people to watch in this competition. And then we have other goalkeepers, Rufai Abubakar, Clinton Ezekiel, and then the defensive area, we have some really star-studded defenders right here. And then the midfield areas as well. We have a couple of interesting talents here, especially the likes of Daniel Dega, who it's really, really good to actually see that he made the color that his clubs have actually allowed him to make this trip to join, with the guys, with the rest of the guys, especially when you consider the fact that we have a couple of our young talents who their club sides rejected, or their club side refused that they cannot, travel to play in this competition. They give some kind of reasons. Of course, they will not come out outright and say, no, we don't want this guy to go, but they will give you some kind of excuses. I'm talking about some players like the very, very talented forward Ibrahim Hafiz Omar, and then we have the talented defender Emmanuel Chuku. So these two guys are some of the people who their club side give excuses and give some kind of reasons that they cannot attend this competition. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe they will eventually allow them to travel and then, be part of this competition. But as it stands now, this is the list on the screen. And these are the guys that will be seeing make appearances in the competition when it starts. But moving away from that, guys, we have, the Ademola Lookman issue still lingering on, as we speak. And just when we thought I was going to come to a happy ending whereby, he's being integrated into the squad and then he's allowed to train and then allowed to play matches. Right now, it's taking a turn that looks like it's going back to how things were, before the international break. And this is because, of course, he missed the weekend's game against Leeds, whereby Atlanta won that game comfortably, 4 goals to 1. I think the victory in that match was even a more reason for Atlanta to kind of not even be interested in settling the case because they are already even winning match without Ademola Lookman. So they'll be like, I mean, why do we even worry about trying to integrate him into the squad when we are already winning match comfortably? You know. So but they they have a UEFA Champions League game this midweek, and Ademola Lookman has also been exempted or removed from the squad list, so he won't be traveling with them to play in the Champions League. I think the game is going to be against PSG, a very, very important match where they will need all of their stars, to be present. Of course, Ademola Lookman is still their biggest star. Forget about what's going on at the club right now with with the issues and everything. But he's not going to travel with them. And the coach has come out now to give a pre-match conference where he's saying that he knows where he's saying that he doesn't think that it's a pleasant situation between Ademola Lookman and the club, and he's repeating his previous statement where he says he has given a lot that he has given a lot to Atlanta, but Atlanta has given him a lot as well. We we need players who are ready, who want to play for the shirt and improve. Looking ahead, we'll see what happens. So they're just kind of going back and forth with the whole thing, you know, and it's now looking like something of ego. Ego right now. They are doing pride and ego. No one wants to kind of bend and say, I'm sorry, and then settle everything and move forward, you know. Of course, we don't know what Ademola Lookman is saying to the club because the players are most times they are not allowed to say anything to the public. We only hear the club say their own parts, maybe through the coach or through the CEO or the president, you know, or things like that. But the only time we really ever hear players talk is maybe through their agent, and then once the players themselves, when everything has like gone off the roof, they would maybe come on social media, just like Ademola Lookman did when he wrote that on his social media, which is not always a good idea. It always ends badly when the player decides to come out and speak, you know, about what is happening. So this is what's happening right now. It's not really looking good, you know, for Lukman. And then even the CEO recently, you know, spoke about it in his own words. He said, "We know how important Lukman is to Atlanta, but the club has some very basic principles. It's about players having to be ready to give 100% for this shirt and be completely focused on our task because all matches are difficult." This is what the CEO of Atlanta told Dazan Media. So from the look of things, we may not see this case settled this week. It might still linger into next week, you know. But I just hope that Lookman, everything is settled and, you know, the man gets back to playing football, which he loves so much, you know, at the end of the day. That's what's happening right now. Thanks for watching. React to any of the stories and then subscribe to the channel if you've not done so. Stay tuned for more videos.